Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Eternal Phoenix coming at you with another video. So I need either an attorney or a psychologist to contact me. My information is going to be down in the description box. And I want to share this on Facebook too. But okay, so I'm going through my Google files, okay, and I come across a Winstead Psychological Services report, okay, for my CPS case, and I'm reading it, and I'm just shook and shocked, and I don't even know what to say. Okay, it says the following information has been disclosed to you from medical records whose confidentiality is protected by federal regulations 42 CFR Part 2, which prohibits you from making any further disclosure of it without the specific written consent of the client or client representative. A general authorization is not sufficient for this purpose. I thought you had to have a general authorization to even see the motherfucker. That's a HIPAA violation, number one. This evaluation is presented as one resource to facilitate treatment planning and case management and is not intended for any other purpose, meaning it cannot be used in a court of law. It cannot. It's not legible. But I bet you they didn't fucking tell you. They didn't even put it in with the court docket, did they? No, they just had it in their case file so they could use it. Any interpretation of the information for the client must be made by a licensed psychologist. This was done through CPS, by the way, who made me jump through hoops and said I needed to have a psychologist examination, which I went to 3 different ones, 2 of them on my own. Whose name appears on the written report. Otherwise, the client's confidentiality may be violated. That's it. That's it right there. Jackpot. Okay, so tell me why, if it's a actual, like, psychological... Let me make sure. Yep. I was, that's, header and footer, you dumb bitch. Filed on 9/19, so the evaluation was supposedly done on September 13th. Okay. But the thing is, it looks like it was supposedly filed on the 19th. At 11:55 a.m. I don't know, let's see. It was on a Tuesday. So it was on a Tuesday that it was filed. So you're telling me they waited a whole week to file a psychological evaluation. When they get it, they're supposed to have it sent immediately. because of this reason. But here's the thing. Here's another fuck up. Winstead Psychological Services, PLC, September 14th, 2017. Okay, they filed it on the 19th. It took them a month supposedly to get it back. Why? Well, I'll be fucking damned. I wonder whose cell phone number's at the top of the fucking thing. Shonda Zachary, 903-238-9051. In the fucking header of September 14th, 2017, 8:55 a.m. Sent from a text message from her phone. I'm guessing Word document on your tablet, phone, whatever it is, because tablets are fucking cellular capable too. It says Jill Harrington, District Clerk, Bowie County, Texas. Joy Smith, Deputy. First of all, that's not even the right fucking officials. Who is the... So you're telling me, Jill or Joy Smith, you were the deputy of James Prince's office? Nope, it was Chris Sutherland. I mean, wow, I can't believe I didn't catch this shit sooner. Cell phone. Not an office number. And then, page 2 of 11. Where's the cover photo then? Like, if there's 11 pages, why is it starting at page 2? Jill Harrington. District Clerk. Okay, so let's continue. Age 25. Okay, I was 25 at that time. What the fuck does DOE stand for? Wow. So apparently DOE means do over everything. On 8/24/2017. So wait a minute. See? Y'all fucked yourselves. Because it says it was September 14, 2017. I don't know, but I didn't think that the month started going backwards. September 14th, 8/24. And then filed, it took them 2 months to file that? I don't think so. Okay, it says reasoning for testing. According to FPS reports, that Ms. Hall was allegedly neglected her children. What is FPS? What is FPS? One error. Ms. Hall's allegedly neglected her children. How do y'all know that when y'all are in the first, in the investigative part of it? She is said to have acknowledged that she used marijuana, methamphetamines, and alcohol. She has purportedly been diagnosed with major depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, psychosis, and PTSD. Okay, that whole point of that evaluation, it alone, was to go in it with an unbiased opinion. So how would you even know that I had any of that? She has purportedly. The fuck does that mean? Appearing or stated to be true, though not necessarily so, alleged or assuming. She has assumed, or they assumed, and getting, it literally says she has purportedly, so, double negative? Purportedly. Let's write that down. Appear to claim or to be or do something, especially falsely. But in the Latin origin, it's forth, or to carry, to bear. And then purport, the base of it, express or signify. The actual definition is as appears, or it's an adverb, appears or is stated to be true. Anyways, it says Miss Hall and her partner. Why didn't they give him? Why shouldn't they have stated his name as well? If it's a psychological testing, there's a difference, right? Psychological and there's psychological and the other one. It's psychological and physiological. I think. Anyways, it doesn't matter because I don't want to get stuck on the details of it. And it says Miss Hall and her partner are said to have a history of domestic violence, and there is reported to have been an increase of arguments and fighting, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, and possible physical abuse in front of the children. She's quoted as stating that her partner frequently breaks things a lot and throws things a lot. Okay, this is the reasoning for this test. by the way. During the current evaluation, she noted she checked herself into a hospital in Shreveport because she was having mental issues and there were drugs involved. There was one child with Chad, and she has another child from a previous relationship. The children are with a maternal grandmother. So, allegedly neglected her children. Did y'all even investigate? No, you assumed because you got paid to. Because it says initial assessment, 52 minutes. Selection of administration protocols, 3 hours and 4 minutes. And then scoring and interpreting protocols, 3 hours. So it took you 52 minutes to evaluate me, but 6+ hours to get the job done. They went in with an unbiased opinion. They were talking shit and literally was like, okay, well, she's a bad mom, and so they just ran with it. But it took you 6 hours to evaluate and get the answers in, plus 2 months on that time. You had it done within the same day, and yet you fucked off around because you were paid to. Okay, so fourth fuck up. At the bottom of this document, which I'm going to upload with this video, by the way, so somebody can actually see it. I'm going to post every fucking social media platform I have. The fact that 414 North Green Street, Longview, Texas, 75601, and it gives her same phone number. 903-238-9050, and then the fax is 903-238-9051. That's not... Oh, shit. That means they didn't even... The guy that did the evaluation, they shredded the original one and made up their own, or the dude wasn't credible at all. It was staged, too. The current evaluation was ordered to assess Ms. Hall's level of functioning and needs. FPS again, what is that? First person shooter? I mean, it says FPS will use this information, and then like the wow. They hacked my fucking account and used a resume format that I had. Okay. So let's go to the cognitive functioning. Kaufman Brief Intelligence Test -2, subtest, verbal intelligence, standard score 86. Okay. It says percentile 18th percent, low average. Okay. Non-verbal performance IQ, standard score 94, 34th percentile average, and then IQ composite 89, 23rd, low average. It says Ms. Hall's verbal IQ was 86 and in a range of 79 to 94. So, which was it? Was it 86? Or in, you don't even fucking know. It says it was, verbal IQ was 86 and then a range of 79 to 94. Her nonverbal IQ was 94. Falling in an 85 1 to 0 103 range. Falling. So 85 to 103. That's like 94 is fucking high. Okay. And then the full composite full scale IQ was an 89, range 83 through 96. There was a 90% certainty that her IQ scores fell within the indicated ranges. There was no significant difference between her verbal and nonverbal scores, suggesting an average development of her cognitive skills. These results indicate she is functioning in the low average range of intelligence. Bitch, that says a fucking 90, like that, my full fucking IQ is an 89. I rank in the 80, from 83 to 96. That's the highest you can go on an IQ, like a full scale IQ test, a legit one. 96 and above is like fucking, you don't even need to be on the planet anymore. But the fact that I was in fucking an 89, that's like, I don't know, six points away from being a super genius. But it's low, average, and average. Fuck you, Texas. Sincerely a genius. So she completed the 12th grade and has not had further education or training. Bullshit. I don't know. I went to college or I was a Navy SEAL. Which is it, Texas? She is currently unemployed and has been without work for approximately 6 months. She reported having too many previous jobs over the past 10 years, with her longest time at the same job being 6 months. No. Not even. Says Ms. Hall noted the presence of neuropsychological dysfunction. So, I evaluated myself. Ms. Hall noted the presence of neuropsychological dysfunction to include language function difficulties, memory and concentration deficits, and neurosomatic symptomology. She also noted the presence of deficits in her executive functioning to include decision-making difficulties and task completion difficulties. That literally says I evaluated, like, she also noted, meaning I sat there and evaluated my fucking self. Apparently. That's how it's worded. She also noted the presence of deficits in her executive functioning. She said that it's hard for her to get started on something, that it's hard for her to plan anything, and she said that it's very difficult for her to make decisions. I wonder why. Abusive relationship, maybe. But, you know, y'all don't see it as that. It's the Southern way. So it also says emotional personality functioning. Responsive to objective testing. Ms. Hall was asked to complete the Coolidge Assessment Battery. Are you fucking kidding me? Cold cranking apps? Are you Wow. Cold cranking apps. It's just rearranged. The letters. C-A... Yeah, they were trying... Cold cranking apps. That's what it is. Fucking morons. And then they couldn't even get that right either. A standardized measure of personality and emotional functioning. Isn't that the PAWS test? The Personality Assessment System? So what the fuck is a Coolidge assessment? The Coolidge Assessment Battery CAB contains 225 items and is answered in a 4-point Likert scale ranging from strongly false to strongly true. The CAB was designed by a clinical neuropsychologist and was developed to assess clinical syndromes on Axis 1 of the APA's Diagnostic and Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders, evaluate neuropsychological functioning, and assess personality disorders according to the strict criteria for personality disorders on Axis 2. So what it's used for, a comprehensive report, pretty much. It's comprehensive and contains interpretive information for a number of clinical personality and validity scales. Results are available immediately with most Sigma Windows software. And this has only been, 6 years ago? So I don't think they've changed that since then. They didn't even scale it. They didn't even fucking scale it. Okay, it says several empirical investigations on the reliability and validity of the CAB are presented in the technical manual. For example, the personality disorder scales from Axis 2 have a mean retest reliability of 0.90 during a 1 week interval. A week interval. Internal consistency reliabilities are also strong, 8.3 for the neuropsychological dysfunction scale, and 89 for both the depression and anxiety scales. Point. It says estimates of concurrent validity have also been computed. Okay, and it shows that the CIB anxiety scale shows concurrent validity of 0.89 with Spielberger's trait anxiety score. Finally, evidence of convergent and discriminant validity is presented in the technical manual. It says, but that wasn't, like, it was based on 900 individuals ranging from 16 to 78 years old. So, like, I don't know, mean, median, and mode, like, that would be, the rough average would be, like, I don't know, 30. I was 5 years away from it. Why not just go ahead and add that on? Because they don't fucking know numbers. It says a standard measure of personality and emotional functioning. Despite caveats, so a warning or proviso of specific stipulations, conditions, or limitations. Or a notice, especially in a probate, that certain actions may not be taken without informing the person who gave the notice. So, okay, it says despite caveats or a warning from the evaluator, or so, like, why would you need to be warning me if I was calm, cool, and collective going in there? From the evaluator regarding the presence of validity items, she appeared to try to make herself look bad or make genuinely feel bad. She reported the presence of emotional difficulties to include clinically significant symptoms of anxiety, depression, post-traumatic symptomology, thought confusion, and social phobia and withdrawal. Ms. Hall acknowledged current passive suicidal ideations and acknowledged previous suicide attempts, which is not true. It says her most recent attempt was when she was 16 years old. I was 25 when this assessment was done. She said that she worries a lot and noted that she began worrying in childhood and has both generalized and specific worries. What kind of specific worries then? That would be a question. If you were doing assessment, you would need to know that. But it just says generalized and specific. So it has both generalized and specific. So why wouldn't you just say complex? She acknowledged vindictive thoughts that said that her past physical altercation was 2 weekends ago. No. Not even. Not even. She acknowledged past visual and auditory hallucinations. I don't know. Medium? Ding, 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 ding. She denied the presence of delusional thinking. So wouldn't that be in the same category as auditory hallucinations? Visual and auditory. Wouldn't that be considered delusional thinking and psychosis? I don't have it. Y'all do. Miss Hall appears to be suffering low ego strength. So I think they were meant low self-esteem. But stupid Texas. She is likely plagued with emotional instability and feelings of worthlessness. She is likely to be talkative, cheerful, or friendly. She is more likely to feel depressed, afraid, and upset without knowing why. Somebody's delusional. But Because I guess you were just thinking for me. She appears to be suffering significant levels of unhappiness. All bullshit aside, abusive relationship. Would anybody be happy in an abusive relationship? She's likely to be generally unhappy with her life. She may feel others do not love her and may feel she has no close friends. She may really laugh, feel inferior to others, and feel unlucky. That's very specific for somebody that doesn't even know, hadn't even really evaluated me. She's likely to express a negative outlook on life and lack emotional ties. She said that she does not expect to get what she wants out of life. Ms. Hall is suffering significant personal distress. She may often feel frustrated, sad, lonely, depressed, and upset. She likely reacts poorly to perceived stress and may often display a loss of emotional and behavioral control. She experiences general difficulties in her social relationships and likely perceives these. So you likely perceives these relationships. Perception is your perception of a subject, or your viewpoint, your standpoint, your opinion. So she experiences general difficulties, general my ass, in her social relationships. Nope, not even. Because my so-called father has been paying people to do this to me my entire life. And perceives these relationships as source of personal difficulty, unhappiness, and pain. Trust me. Y'all have no idea. She does not see other people as dependable and therefore views her relationships negatively rather than as a resource. How about every time that I need something, I really need something, and I don't ever ask for anything, I can't even get it. I can't even get basic. I'll be like, hey, can I get $5 for whatever? No, I've blah 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 blah. But you best believe I was always, and I don't ever toot my own horn, but you best believe that when somebody was down and out, I was there if I really could. And I always did. Ms. Hall evidenced problematic personality characteristics that likely interfere with her ability to negotiate her interpersonal environment. Evidenced. That is the most improper word phrase or sentence. It's not even a sentence, it's a word phrase at this point that I've ever read in my entire life. She manifested symptoms of antisocial, avoidant, borderline dependent, narcissistic, obsessive compulsive. Yes, I am very particular on certain things. I don't know, hygiene, cleanliness, just basic shit, like turning the lights off if you're not in a room. I guess that's obsessive. Paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal personality. That's not even a term for fucking psychology. It's not. It would be a schizophrenic personality traits. Paranoid or schizophrenic personality traits, not schizoid. That's fucked up. Yeah, it says schizoid. That's a fucking racial slur. That's a civil rights all over it. With depressive, sadistic, passive-aggressive, and self-defeating features. So, self-defeating attributes, looks, dress, passive-aggressive, not a bad thing to be sometimes. Sadistic, at this point, yes. With everything that's happened to me in my life right now, yes, very. She is suffering significant feelings of loneliness. I wonder why, because everybody that I've ever loved has abandoned me and sold me and profited me and then covered it up. And my kids. She perceives herself as being isolated and alone. She believes others are not available, and therefore, even when other individuals are available as resources, she tends not to utilize them effectively. How could I when they're not available anyway? They're not. Ms. Hall reported having significant problems in her family. She likely has difficulty getting along with family members and has experienced a lot of fights in her family. Relationships with family members are likely to be highly conflictual and possibly violent. So, she likely has difficulty. I expressed significant problems in her family, but wouldn't you go into more detail to follow up with that? She likely, that's an assumption. Ability to parent. She was administered the Child Abuse Potential Inventory, or the CAPI, a device designed to measure characteristics occurring in known physical child abusers. This abuse score most accurately represents the characteristics of the parent at the time of testing. While an elevated score demonstrates the parent has characteristics like known abusers, it does not indicate the parent actually is an abuser. Other history would be required to verify abusive behaviors. It says Ms. Hall's score on the abuse scale of the CAPI was elevated, suggesting that she has characteristics like those known to physically abuse children. She has had elevations on subscales of the CAPI. These elevations include personal distress, unhappiness, problems in her family, problems relating to people in general. How do you know that? Low ego strength and feelings of loneliness are discussed in the context of this report. So let me back up. Okay, so it says she responded to the Adult Adolescent Parenting Inventory, AAPI, an instrument measuring parenting attitudes. So we jump from ability to parent, we jump from the CAP, the potential child abuse, then we jump to adult adolescent parenting. Like, why isn't, like, there is that 2 categories? I thought it was just 1 category for all kids, adolescent and young ones. So there's 2 different types, 2 different subtypes for the same thing. I'm just asking, like, respectively. Her expressed parenting attitudes were mixed. On one hand, she is not likely to be threatened by a child's normal strivings for a sense of power and independence. She demonstrated an understanding of the potential detrimental side effects of misusing or overusing corporal punishment. So she demonstrated an understanding of the potential detrimental side effects. So I understood the concept of the difference between child abuse and corporal punishment, a spanking, a timeout, something of that nature. She expressed empathy for children's needs and showed an understanding of the importance of placing her children's needs above her own. However, if referral information were deemed accurate, she has not been successful at placing her children's needs first. So if referral information were deemed accurate, she has not been successful. So they heard through the grapevine that I wasn't successful in putting my needs first, but based on what they just said, it says she demonstrated an understanding for the side effects of abuse and empathy for children's needs, and showed an understanding of how important of placing her children's needs above hers were important. And yet, because of the CPS caseworker talking shit because of what she thought she heard, and they didn't even bother to investigate. The investigators were from DeKalb, right around where, I don't know where Chad's parents were, where Chad lives. Ms. Hall likely harbors expectations of children that exceed their development capabilities. She appears to lack an understanding of normal child growth and development and is likely to be demanding and controlling. Not even. Ms. Hall's self-concept with regard to her role as a parent is likely weak and easily threatened. Are you fucking kidding me? She is at risk of rejecting or mistreating her children when they do not meet her unrealistic expectations. That sounds like Marilyn Gibson. Sounds like Trisha Hernandez. Other issues of concern regarding her ability to effectively care for her children include a history of substance abuse and possible substance dependence. No, not even. She denied a current use of alcohol. She reported her current use of illicit drugs. Lasted use in June. Okay, this report was done in August. That was 3 months. I was sober. 3 months. And lasted use in June. According to FPS records, Ms. Hall acknowledged using marijuana She describes her current use of prescription drugs as Paxil 30 milligrams and hydrocodone for toothache as needed. They made it look like I was a fucking opiate addict. She reported her past use of alcohol and drugs as a blue moon occasion. Well, I don't know, getting high, like 3-month span. She denied an arrest history. They didn't even do, like, I've never even had it. I told them I've never been arrested. She has an unstable occupational history and noted the presence of financial difficulties. I wonder why. Because maybe my ex was actually a fucking drug addict. No offense to him. She would likely have difficulty meeting the practical needs of her children. Bullshit. I'd starve before they did. She reported a history of being in an abusive relationship. She reported he throws stuff at me, chokes me, and says demeaning things. Yeah. Whenever he was fucking drunk and susceptible, I'm just going to say that. She reported a history of problems in a romantic relationship and described her partner as jealous and suspicious. Never said that, by the way. I never said that. She said that she's currently participating in counseling. We were, because CPS 1 forced us to, but we knew that, like, we needed psychological help, and we both went on our own. But Chad was forced more so than me. She said that she was mistreated in childhood and explained that she was sexually abused. Parents who have been abused and or neglected as children are at increased risk of repeating patterns of mistreat with their children. Because y'all don't learn how to fucking change the pattern. She showed an evaluation of the dangerousness scale. Danger zone? She showed an evaluation on the dangerousness subscale of the CAB. I don't think that's a real thing. Her anger, discontrol, impulsivity, mistrust of others, rebellious and bold nature, tendency to seek out physical confrontations, intimidate others to maintain control, and emotional liability place her at an increased risk of being a danger to herself and others. So, rebellious and bold nature, because I don't trust anybody. I'm unpredictable. Tendency to seek out physical confrontations, not afraid to stand up for what I believe in. Okay. Intimidate others to maintain control. You mean mediate? And to maintain control and emotional liability place her at an increased risk of being a danger to herself and others. So, summary of diagnostics. Ms. Hall presented as a 25-year-old Caucasian female who is functioning at the low average range of intelligence. Bitch, 89 is not low average. There was no significant difference between her verbal and nonverbal abilities, so it repeated itself. They just added a different subheading or different paragraph. We'll just say a paragraph snagger. She responded to the evaluation in an overly negative manner and may have tried to make herself look bad or may genuinely feel bad. So, back up. Okay, so she has been... During the current evaluation, she noticed... let me see, where did it go? I just want to know what the fuck FPS is. Ms. Hall was casually dressed and presented with fair hygiene. Her eyes were hazel and her hair were brown. And why does that matter? What color my eyes were? Y'all are giving a fucking criminal description. You mixed something else with something else and called it an evaluation. She weighs 226 pounds and is 5'1". They got my height wrong, by the way. Her posture was erect and her gait was normal. What the fuck is gait? Person's manner of walking. So, like, my posture was normal. My attitude was normal. She was calm and relaxed and somewhat subdued. So that just admitted right there that somebody mentally subdued me or hypnotized me in a governmental facility. Because then it says she responded to the evaluation in an overly negative manner and may have tried to make herself look bad, or it repeated itself. She presents with notable emotional difficulties to include clinically significant symptoms of anxiety. So literally I told them that I was having problems with my family. It repeated the same thing twice in a row for a different supposed test. See, and that's the thing when I was on the phone with the substance abuse people, counselors or whatever, because I guess it was a different thing. They told me that I wasn't an addict. They told me that I didn't even fall into the category of it. But now, substance abuse, dependence, poor impulse control, limited cognitive functioning. Bitch, they literally made me look like I was mentally incompetent to have my kids. And I'm only finding out 5 years later. I wonder why, Drew. Inadequate support system. Unempathetic to children's needs. And it just said that I showed the difference between what I knew between child abuse and I had empathy for my kids and put them first. Risk of overusing, misusing corporal punishment, found. Threatened by children's independence, found. Rigid parenting style, found. Personal distress, high risk. Lack of bonding to child, unable to determine. Lack of financial resources, high risk. Child's age with significant issues, undetermined. Elevated abuse score, high risk. Defensiveness, present. So because I defended my kids, and because I didn't have the money, or I was doing what I needed to do to get by with Chad and to make it work, and you tore our family apart. Y'all mentally, you made us look bad to each other. And for what? Because I never ever, I couldn't even spank my children. And whoever's at the fucking window needs to get away from it now. Personality impairment, emotional problems, inadequate support system. Yeah, that's a definite. Diagnostic impressions, other specified personality disorder. And it gives these clinical codes, but I don't even think they're real codes. They look like, I don't know. How about fucking, they're not penal codes or something else. They're not the actual codes that they used for psychological evaluations. They look different. Ms. Hall's prognosis for benefiting from helping services in the time frame mandated by FPS is guarded top poor. In her favor, she did not respond to this evaluation in a defensive manner. At the same time, she presents with clinically significant emotional difficulties and personality impairment. She has characteristics like those known to physically abused children, and there are concerns with some of her expressed parenting attitudes. She has a history of childhood trauma and has been in abusive romantic relationships. Yeah, because the boyfriend that I dated previously before Chad actually really did hold me hostage in his apartment. Dad. She has a history of substance abuse and or dependence. Having personality issues does not automatically disqualify Ms. Hall from being able to successfully engage in services and decease risk to her children. Decease risk. Like, really? Decease. Decidere, or decidere in Latin, means to die. There's no other meaning for it. Now you can use cease and desist. Cease and desist. Decease, the act of dying, departure from life. Depart from. Death. Literally, it says to decease. Personality impairment results from disruptions in the attachment system early on in one's life, and from being in a caregiving environment that lacks emotional and relational safety and consistency. These individuals were forced to learn adaptive strategies to survive an unhealthy family system. Therefore, having personality skills means that she will have to need to participate in counseling with a helping professional that has the skill set necessary to address personality impairment. Ms. Hall could benefit from participating in trauma-informed or trauma-focused individual counseling to address issues and concerns mentioned in referral for information and delineated in the current evaluation. So again, they said, in the words, therefore having personality issues means that she will need to participate in counseling with a helping professional that has the skill set necessary to address personality impairment. Ms. Hall could benefit from participating in that, whatever the fuck it is, counseling to address issues and concerns mentioned in referral information and delineated in the current evaluation. This means that intervention strategies would focus on bottom-up processes in addition to top-down processes. Neurobiological research has demonstrated that many of the problems that traumatized individuals suffer are generally not from results of lack of understanding and or lack of information. So, what is neurobiological research? Because, I'm thinking, I don't know, biological warfare? But in your nervous system and how you react to things, to people. It says much of the problem lies in the emotional brain rather than the rational brain. So, they named the two areas of your brain, the emotional side and the emotional brain and the rational brain. Or does that mean we have two brains? As a result, top-down methods such as cognitive behavioral therapy, creating a narrative story, recalling traumatic memories, and the like often result in limited progress and improvements with the traumatized population when used excessively. And the like often result in limited progress and improvements with the traumatized population. Creating a narrative story with population. Y'all are fucked. Fucked. Y'all said it. I'm reading your report, bitches. And it says, as a result, top-down methods such as cognitive the CBT creating a narrative, blah, 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 blah. Instead, bottom-up approaches such as EMDR, Developmental Needs Meeting Strategy. Okay, so what does EMDR stand for? Because it just jumps into Developmental Needs Meeting Strategy. Like, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing is a psychotherapy that enables people to heal from the symptoms and emotional distress that are a result of disturbing life experiences. EMDR therapy shows that the mind can in fact heal from psychological trauma as much as the body recovers from physical trauma. Okay, I just said I was having problems with my family. How do you know that I had disturbing life experiences? Neurofeedback, breathing and relaxation exercises, mindfulness, and synchronized rhythmic activities such as yoga and dance need to be integrated to Ms. Hall's treatment plan to ensure the best possibility for recovery. Relaxation exercises, neurofeedback, breathing, mindfulness, meditative state, which I told them that I was doing, and Melinda Cree, who was the CASA worker that just miraculously she stopped. She wasn't our caseworker anymore, and it was going really well with her. And then all of a sudden it just went to shit because she couldn't be bought. She quit, I think. Because the thing is, that woman told me she was proud of me. She told me that I was one of the ones that actually cared. Ms. Hall could benefit from participating in parent training, which I did through the First Choice Parent. I did that. Importantly, she would need to address characteristics that place her at risk of physically abusing children. Did that. Ms. Hall could also address problematic parenting attitudes identified in the current evaluation. Was doing that. If reunification were a viable goal, and if Ms. Hall and her partner were to continue their relationship, they could benefit from participating in conjoint counseling. We were doing that through CPS, where the counselor could assess the healthiness of the relationship and determine if there are issues that would need to be addressed in the context of counseling. The counselor could also assess their ability to parent in an effective and consistent manner. Never did that. Ever. They never, and I know the kids were so little, but the actual counselor never came and evaluated how he parented. And I think they were supposed to. They just assumed. If Ms. Hall has not yet done so, she would need to participate in a substance abuse assessment and follow up I'm so pissed off. Follow any and all recommendations. So you said that I had a substance abuse problem, but yet I need a substance abuse assessment? Ms. Hall would continue to benefit from receiving services from her psychiatrist, or other qualified medical professional. I don't know. How about a nurse practitioner? How about Miss Stephanie McCorkle, who called Bobby Lockhart like 3 different times on 3 separate occasions to tell him that I didn't need medication, that I just needed to continue with my counseling with Ashley, who was my psychiatrist. She was my counselor. Or other qualified medical professional, or to address her emotional impairment. They literally said I needed a fucking somebody skilled for personality impairment. Now emotional impairment too. The treating physician would need to be aware of her history of substance abuse and or dependence. See, they said I needed an assessment. Her history of substance abuse and codependency or dependence. It's also important to note that Ms. Hall issues also stem in part from personality impairment, a condition that does not lend itself to medical intervention and typically requires intensive and long-term psychotherapy. Drawbacks to medication include an inability to address the underlying cause of her emotional difficulties. What? That is, medication simply manages symptoms rather than brings about healing to the emotional brain. In addition, many medications have a tendency to numb emotional brain. which helps manage symptoms but can also interfere with bottom-up processing intended to bring healing and rewiring to this part of the brain. Wouldn't that be cognitive dissonance that you're attempting to do? If you have any questions, please contact our office. Respectfully, Donald E. Weinstead III, PhD, licensed psychologist, license -3-0903. Information contained in her report is potentially harmful to the emotional, psychological well-being, welfare of the client you are representing and serving. It is your ethical obligation and responsibility to ensure that the information in her evaluation has been adequately explained to the client before she has received a copy. Never actually physically received a copy, by the way. It was, I don't know, emailed me. Giving a client a copy of her evaluation without the information being explained and or interpreted is a violation of the ethics code. Well, we got a civil suit out the wazoo. First off, civil rights, HIPAA violation, and now a ethics code violation. Oh wait, that's civil fucking rights. Please contact my office at your earliest convenience if your client has not yet participated in an interpretation and is requesting a copy of her evaluation. So where's the him? They're going to have the opportunity to explain and interpret the information contained in her report before it's released to the client. They never did. Which, by the way, if it was submitted to a judge, shouldn't it have been like, I don't know, signed by, like if it was, I'm just not that smart, but I just got to know if you, I don't know, if this is trying to be submissible into court, doesn't it have to be notarized and signed by a judge and by all attorneys and representatives acting, including the court clerk who didn't sign it or stamp it? So guess what? They didn't even submit it into court. They made it look like they submitted it into court. It never even reached Bobby Lockhart's desk. Respectively to Honorable Judge Lockhart. Because see, here's the thing. There's 11 pages in this motherfucker. The header says page 1111. But guess what? On my PDF download, where you download it, it says at 1010. So, what 2 pieces of paper were omitted from this report? Because even on the header it says page 10, but at the top of it says page 11. So you actually y'all had no leg to stand on, because you didn't even submit evidence at all. And then you probably bullied Bobby Lockhart. And so that's why he was just like, when the next court case came around, it was Addison. But it wasn't Addison. It was their fake ass fill-in that has no fucking, I don't know, Cade Mayo, attorney at law. Sound familiar? And Carly Anderson, Carly Fricks, all of you, you know who you are. I've reached an hour, but this is really important to me. I'm going to upload the document with this video. I really hope that this reaches the right people, because I was done so fucking wrong. And I'm just daylighting $1 short. So I'm the Eternal Phoenix, and I'm rising from the ashes. I'll see you next time.